Hello guys, so my name is Pax. I go by Paxagoy on social media, and this is going to be my very first YouTube video, right? So I thought I would create this YouTube video because this year is amazing, or has been amazing, in a sense that Med and I have finally gotten our own space, and we do share like a big passion for like indoor houseplants or plants in general. And with that, we've been slowly like curating and decorating and filling our space with indoor plants. So currently our indoor family houseplant home, I believe, has like a count of like 20 plus plants, with a couple still in propagation mode. And it's amazing and super cute in a sense that every time we do get a houseplant, we name them. So they do have like a familial meaning to us in a sense. It's just like when other people have pets, it's funny because like they would like greet their pets when they come home, or they would like say goodbye before they would leave their like apartments or their homes. It's kind of like the same for us in a sense. For example, whenever I leave the apartment or like our house, or whenever I come home, I would just like do a roll call of all of our plants. I love it that way. It kind of gives me something to look forward to whenever I leave and whenever I come back. Just saying hi or how they've been doing. It's super cute. But yeah, without further ado, I think I will be like starting on a couple of houseplants that we first got. Okay, the first two plants that I will be showing to you guys, they just come in pairs. Simply because they were the first two that we got when we moved into our new home. So the first one is a Monstera deliciosa. It's still pretty young. It's still technically a baby. It's also known as the Swiss cheese plant or the split leaf philodendron. It was a housewarming gift given to us by one of our titas. So her name is Tita Flor. That's why we have decided to name this plant Florian. So as you can see right now, this Monstera only has like one slit, or like one fenestration. That's one clear indication that this is still a pretty young Monstera, just because like with how other Monsteras are that are more mature, they would have, the leaves are like much larger, and they would have like multiple fenestrations on their leaves. So yeah. One cool thing to note about this though is that they do develop like aerial roots. So aside from the roots that they would have like under the soil, they also like develop aerial roots. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an aerial root right here. Am I pointing it correctly? Right there. So yeah, these aerial roots like seek extra sources of water, or like, you know, for extra sustenance. But that's just how Monsteras are apparently. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. When we first got it, the aerial root was just like super tiny, like this. But now it's like grown to like this, and it's kind of like poking the soil in a sense. So I'm happy that Florian is doing happy. So the next plant that I have for you guys was also gifted by Tita Flor or Auntie Flor. We named him Keanu just because the name of Tita Flor's like husband is Kian. So you make the connection right there. So there's Keanu and there's Florian. But yeah, it's a Chinese money plant. It's also like scientifically called the Pilea peperomioides. So when we first got this plant, they had a couple of extra leaves poking out, but since then we had to like repot it a couple of times just because it was outgrowing its previous pot, and I think it just like got a little shocked from that. So some of its leaves started falling out. But right now, I think he's doing pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like an extra like leaf that's like growing out. So I think he's doing pretty good. So this is Keanu, our Chinese money plant, and this is Florian, our Monstera. So the next plant that I will be showing to you guys is this guy right here. It's pretty cool, right? You can see the leaves. This is our like Philodendron Florida Beauty, or Philodendron pedatum. So Med is actually the one who got this plant because he found it on Marketplace and he wouldn't like stop messaging the seller and until he got it. So it's really pretty in a sense that it has, so like philodendrons, or at least this Florida beauty, what I've seen from photos is that they usually like grow upward. But yeah, they would still have the same leaves, of course, obviously. But at least this is pretty cool just because the leaves that this guy has, they grow like sideways. So it takes on this really cool and different shape. So what's more is that this guy, we named him Draco just because Med thinks that he looks like a dragon of sorts. Like a it's a 4-headed dragon as of the moment. So when we first got this, it didn't really have this guy right here. So this is actually a new leaf and it's currently growing another leaf. So yeah, this is Draco, our Philodendron Florida beauty, or Philodendron pedatum. Yeah. So this plant doesn't really have its own pot yet, just because ceramic pots, or the pots that Med and I want, they're kind of expensive in a sense, just because like ceramic pots are made by hand. So currently right now it's like sitting in this, or it's living in this nursery pot, but there will come a time where Draco will have his very own beautiful like cover pot or like ceramic pot. But yeah. So the next plant that I will be sharing with you guys is our Peperomia rotundifolia, or Peperomia European trailing. So we got this plant at Safeway just because like Safeway is just like one train station away from our place, okay? So whenever we'd go by there or drop by, we would just like check the plant section, and that's where we found this little fella. So we found this plant hanging on top of like a pole or a ceiling, and we instantly loved it just because like if you can see the variegation on the leaves, it gives off this like bright yellow, green, something mint kind of color, and I think it's really cool to look at. So I must say though, her name is Pepper, by the way. Pepper, the Peperomia European trailing. Pepper is a drama queen, is our drama queen, just because sometimes when she's like very thirsty, you would just like see her like leaves and like stems like drooping down, and all it takes is just like one watering session and then her leaves just like prop up. It took us a while to like understand her watering cycles, or like how to best care for her, because when we first got her, we had like a couple of like leaves falling off, but now she's doing pretty good actually. And what we do is just like we do a lot of bottom watering. So we just like put this pot or her pot in the bathtub, and we would just like let the water like seep into the soil for, I don't know, 15 minutes. That's what we do. And then yeah, we just leave her out to dry, and then she's good to go. And then you notice all the leaves start propping up. So look at her, she's so pretty, right? Pepper. So the next couple of plants that I will be showing to you guys is our like kind of like our new plants. So these babies, we got this, so Med and I attended this like terrarium making workshop / wine night in downtown Vancouver like last week. So this guy right here is a false Aurelia, or the Plorandra elegantissima. This is a lipstick plant, or an echinanthus. And then this guy right here, the red one, I don't know if you can see it, it's a Bloody Mary plant. So yeah, the names of these plants, so these come in order, okay? So the tallest one, the false Aurelia, it's called Constance. The lipstick plant, we named this little guy Cupid. And then the Bloody Mary, its name is Heinz, okay? This was Med's idea. So yeah, it's pretty cool, the terrarium making. So we added like the soil, and then the rocks, and then we like added like decorative moss at the same time. So originally, when we first got this terrarium, it had 4 plants in it. But since then, we have repotted the other one, just because we just felt like it was getting too crowded, and we didn't really want that for our like little baby terrarium. So the one that was originally with them is in this pot right here. This one is a silver tree Pilea, and we have named this little plant Wednesday, and you know, rightfully so, it's also in this like black pot. So yeah, it's pretty cool actually, because you can see like the leaves are kind of dull looking in a sense, but it's still really cool because it has all of these like different colorations on it. So it's pretty nice. I like it. I love it. I can't wait for her to like grow up and just like see where it takes her. But yeah, these are our like semi-newest babies. So the next plant that I will be showing to you guys is this Ficus audrey or Ficus benghalensis. They're in the same family as the fiddly fig, which I'm pretty sure you might be familiar with just because of how like famous it is online for a lot of like people. But at the same time, it's also famous for how hard it is to be, you know, how hard it is to take care for. That's why like if you don't really know how to properly care for like a fiddly fig, you would normally see the leaves browning or like falling off or falling out. And that's why we opted for, you know, our Ficus audrey, because she's still like, you know, gives a very tree-like vibe to the space that we have, but at the same time she's very sturdy. She's very like compared to like the fiddly fig, it's comparatively like easier to take care of. That's why we love her. I think this little fella is just like 5 feet now, and as you can see from the top of the leaves, what's exciting about this is just like I don't know, it's a fast grower for us. Currently has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new growths, and I think when we got it, it was just like this high, or like, let me see, just like this high. So this going up, those are like new growths right there. So yeah, we love this Ficus audrey, and if you could just like look at the leaves, it's so like big and it's so like pretty, and it's just like, oh, it's stunning. I love it. I love the Ficus audrey. Yeah, and it's one of our bigger plants in the space. So the next couple of plants that I will be showing you guys, I think are pretty cool, just because they're not really that common as how you would like find or see other indoor houseplants, and they look pretty like rad, honestly. So the first one is this one. Right, so it's mounted on this cedar wood. Some people like mount it on like other types of like frames or like driftwood, but apparently cedar wood is really good because when you do like need to water it, so essentially this guy is attached by this like sphagnum moss like wrapped in like fishing wire, and then it's just like wall mounted on this cedar wood. But yeah, you would like hang this on your wall like here. And currently I have like 5 different staghorns. I'll show you guys later. But I got this as a birthday gift, and Med gave it to me, and I was just like so surprised and so shook, because I've always wanted like, imagine like a whole wall of these guys in your living space. Isn't that like really cool? So yeah, this guy right here is called a Platycerium veitchii. It's also known as the blue elkhorn or blue staghorn fern, and it gets its name, like, you know, staghorn elk, because the leaves, or like these guys right here, the leaves, they do look like elk horns or like stag horns. Yeah, but they do not have a name yet, just because I got them very recently. But hopefully I will be naming them soon, and I will be making another video of me just like putting up these plants on the wall, so that will be really cool. But yeah, so this is the first one, the Platycerium veitchii. So the biggest staghorn fern that I have is this guy right here. It's a standard staghorn fern, elkhorn fern or Platycerium bifurcatum. And it's just monstrous, especially if they are out in the wild. But these guys grow pretty big actually, so that's it. Hopefully when I do hang this, it doesn't fall out, but look how pretty it is, and it's just like, wow. Yeah. The next 2 plants that I will be sharing with you guys, they come in pairs again, just because I got them both for my birthday. And Med and I visited the plant nursery in South Vancouver. So that was really fun, and we ended up like we were trying our best to like hold on to whatever we can, but we did end up buying like 2 plants and 1 ceramic pot. I mean, it's okay. So the first guy is this one. His name is Phineas, and he is a Philodendron billietiae. I love it because we've always wanted to have a plant that had really long leaves. So yeah, I think it was perfect. It does remind me sort of like another dragon, similar to my Florida Beauty, but I think it's pretty cool because it's already like growing a lot of like leaves right here, if you can see. And I know this leaf is already like pretty long, but it does get longer once it matures more. So I'm pretty excited about that. The next, oh gosh, this is like the weirdest plant I think, but I love it. So the next plant that I have right here is a Davallia fejeensis, or the white rabbit's foot fern. What really attracted me about this, as you can already tell, are these roots or whatever they are. Not really sure, but they are supposed to resemble like rabbit feet, hence the name. But also they do remind me of like tarantula legs. Not that I have already touched like a leg of a tarantula, but this is what I would imagine it would feel like if you could touch it. But you know, look at that. Yeah, it's so pretty. I love it. So yeah, this is the white rabbit's foot fern, or the Davallia fejeensis. The next, or I think this is the final plant that I will be showing for now, just because the other plants are still in propagation mode and I don't think they're ready to be shown just yet. But yeah, the tallest plant that we have in our home, hence why I cannot really like bring him here next to me, is a Dracaena marginata. So originally when we got the tallest guy right here next to me, as I'm looking to my right, it was 12 feet tall. It was 12 feet tall, and it has been growing for around like 40 years. And it's been really, really good, taken good care of. So when we got it, just because Ben and I still don't like have a car, and it wouldn't really fit in a car anyway, we had to like use our trolley, like attach it to our trolley. I'll attach a photo right here, or like a video. We had to use a trolley, and then we had to like lug it around or pull it around, and we also like use the ferry because it wouldn't fit in buses or like trains otherwise. So we did that, and we walked all the way home and then rode the ferry. So we rode the ferry, and then walked more all the way home just to get this guy in. So his name is Quentin, or Quinn for short. And since he does not really like fit our ceilings, just because our ceilings are 9 feet and he's like 12 feet, we had to like cut him to like 8-ish feet, something like that. And that thing you see over there is his bottom half. Okay, that's the bottom half. That is still in a pot, that still has roots, and that still can grow out leaves at the top. So I'm leaving it as is. But the big guy right here next to me, it's like 8-ish feet tall, and we are currently trying to root him. So we bought like good potting mix with like orchid bark, and then we also bought like rooting hormones just to make it root faster, because we really want to do like have like a big Dracaena plant in our home, and we feel like it's super nice and kind of makes your space more eclectic or artistic, or I don't know, it's just like a different vibe given to your space. I'll attach like photos here of the vibe that we're going for, but essentially, yeah, I really love it, the Dracaena marginata. So yeah, so if you've made it to the very end of this video, I thank you so much, and I think that's where we are for right now. That's the end of the video for now. I know our space isn't super complete yet, but this is where we are right now. And that said, I think it would be like a great idea to like make an apartment series vlog where we do kind of like showcase the updates, little updates here and there of our apartment or our home, our plant home, just to like also have you guys on this little adventure with us. But yeah, I appreciate all the time that you took to watch this vlog, and until next time, thank you, bye bye.